Hello everyone, we are here in Santa Rosa, California during the 3-day intensive weekend. This is February 9th through 11th of 2018. I'm Gustavo Tolosa and I have the privilege of having right next to me Dr. McDougall. We see each other every week, but from far away.
From Argentina last time.
Sometimes from Argentina, most of the times from Dallas, but we're here together and it's very nice to see you.
We've got about 140 people.
This is a large group. It's great.
That's a nice group. We've had a little bit bigger, but it seems to be what they're going to settle in as about 150 people. We're going to have twice a year.
Right.
We used to have advanced study weekends where I bring in people with different opinions, and I did it for a lot for my education.
Several years.
Maybe 8-10 years.
Right.
And I quit last February 2017 because, really honestly, there was nobody else I wanted to hear.
You ran out of guests.
I ran out of people I thought would be, for my worthwhile bringing all the way to
Right.
For the audience, I shouldn't have been so selfish because they're really good people. But the main reason I brought these people in, sometimes it could cost me $10,000
right.
to bring some of this talent in. And sometimes I lost a lot of money doing it.
Right.
But there are certain people I wanted to get to know and thought could help us in our movement, like vice versa, like H. Gilbert Welch.
Yes.
You know, just a whole bunch of people. So that got to be an awful lot of work, and also, as I say, it was getting to be too many repeat speakers.
Right. Right.
So,
but of course, the audience changes,
but
still.
I may start them again.
People are asking about it. Aren't these recorded?
Yeah, I have all recorded.
But they're not available.
They're not available. They're recorded
currently
for history.
Right.
They're in one safe space. They are in another safe space. Because we know only one safe space is not a safe space.
Right.
Because every other recording I used to have is gone. But anyway, we may start advanced study weekends again when I find guests that have worthwhile information.
We were talking about the lifestyle medicine.
Yep. Some people are getting into lifestyle medicine, but lifestyle, see, I actually object. I'll stand up in conferences and somebody will say, well, the way we need to handle it is diet and lifestyle. And I'll stand there on stage. I'll be there already, or I'll be in the audience, and I'll stand up and I'll say, wrong! It's not diet and lifestyle. It's diet. When you give it diet and lifestyle, what you've done is you've taken away the importance of diet.
Right.
Oh, diet and lifestyle. Well, I think I'll choose lifestyle. I'll go for a little extra walk. Then I'll change my diet.
Right, and be more social because, or some other...
Yeah, or maybe I'll get a massage, an extra time.
Go to yoga.
Yeah. Diet and lifestyle. Yeah, yoga, or maybe I'll start running. And they stay sick and fat and diabetic. They don't understand why. And the reason is somebody said you have a diet and lifestyle disease. No, you don't. You have a disease of your diet. Your lifestyle may be of some importance. And it's certainly something you want to pay attention to. But what's making you fat, constipated, and achy is the food you're sticking in your mouth. So that's why I hate diet and lifestyle.
That is very true. People will choose between diet and lifestyle.
Oh, there's my lifestyle.
That's right.
Let's see. I used to have a habit of picking at scabs. I'll change that lifestyle one too. Unbelievable. But I really strongly object, as you can tell. And it's not a joke, to combining that sentence.
Yeah, I see why.
It detracts from what you need to do. You got to fix the food. The food is poisoning you.
Right. Well, there I guess distractions such as gluten-free or should I drink coffee? I mean, we're distracting from the main again.
Yeah. Those are all points. I mean, you can name a dozen of them, but the GMO foods is
GMO,
one.
gluten.
And gluten, both of them are very emotional foods.
I mean, now every restaurant, which I don't go that often, but in the last month I've been traveling, so I've had to eat in some restaurants. But I see more and more often how they're labeling gluten-free, as if that. I mean,
about 30% of packaged foods.
Right.
And fewer than 1% of the population has need for that kind of restriction. But yeah, that makes me mad too. But what makes me really mad I've learned to keep my mouth shut about it. Sort of. Are the GMO foods.
Oh, yes.
You know,
yes.
GMO Frankenstein foods, agreed. Monsanto, bad, bad, bad. Agreed. But I've never seen a case of GMO disease. So I'm not going to put much attention into GMO foods since there's no such thing as a GMO disease. And until one develops, I'm going to put my efforts into things that I do see really cause disease, like eating pig's legs or cow's butts,
Right.
or eggs or chicken's ovaries,
Mm-hmm.
fish's tails, and things like that. You know, that's where I'm going to put my attention because about 99, 98, 90, well, at least 70% of the people I know are, at least, because 70% of them are overweight, at least 70% of the people I know are sick from food poisoning from eating animal foods and oils. So don't give me any of this GMO garbage.
Yeah.
I know, it hurt your feelings. Everyone like
Yeah,
me.
you gotta make some people mad.
Oh, yeah, they do. I've had people stand up and walk out of my conferences after trying to argue with me. And all I've learned to do is I used to say when somebody comes up about GMOs, I said, you know, this is probably something better left undiscussed because you're not going to like what I have to say. So I'm sorry. Let's just go on to the next question.
Right.
You can read about it on my website.
Well, the lecture that you just gave a few minutes ago, well, it's one of my favorite lectures that you do, and it's the dairy lecture.
You can find that in my May 2003 newsletter, and there is, under the video section, there's a video called Marketing Milk and Disease.
Yes.
Watch that lecture. It'll be given by a man that looks slightly younger than me.
Slightly younger.
By 20
but
years.
not as handsome.
Not as blonde hair as I have.
Yes. No, but that is, I encourage everyone to go and watch
It's the same lecture.
It's the same pretty much. I saw a few new slides or updated slides this time, but it was very good. And one of the things you mentioned that people ask often is about if this is a diet, the starch-based diet, plant-based, is if it is an alkaline diet.
Yeah,
and then you made it very clear today. Can you just say a few words?
Yeah, sure. This is a point that almost never comes up from the audience.
And
but
today
it did. And I sometimes bring it up because maybe I have a medical student in or some very questioning person about what I have to say. And they may have mentioned it. I'm talking about alkaline versus acidic foods.
Right.
And that's divided by number 7. On a pH measurement instrument, if your pH is above 7, you're alkaline, and if you're below 7, you're acidic. And the human body is 7.4, so it's slightly alkaline. So I gave a whole list of alkaline and acid foods, and your highest acid foods are dairy, then fish, then beef, then chicken. And your alkaline foods are your fruits and vegetables. But there are some that go in the plant kingdom. They are categorized as, let's see, I think seeds you would call them. And then you break it down into grains and legumes.
Right.
So those are seeds. Well, grains and legumes are slightly acidic. I think the reason they are acidic is because they have such an important part of life to do, which is to reproduce a whole new apple tree.
Right.
So they have to have some substances that turn out to be slightly acidic. But just to give you some relative numbers, the acid load for peas is 1. The acid load for cheese is 10. That means it has 10 times more acid in it per calorie.
Right.
10 times.
Isn't cheese probably the highest, or the one of the highest?
Parmesan cheese, I've heard, is the most acidic of all the cheeses, but they're all the same category.
Right.
You take your bones away. But anyway, the question that you just brought up, that was brought up from the audience, is that can't be true. Because
right.
I work with tomatoes all the time, and tomatoes are acidic. And I said, yes, they're acidic. And I said, so are
lemons.
Yeah, lemons and oranges and pineapples and all kinds of things. I said, if you take and open up a lemon and you put a pH strip on it, it'll test acid. And if you only drank the juice that the strip was in, it would be acid. But when you eat an orange, the pulp,
right,
the fibers and so on, all that is so alkaline that that little bit of acid is neutralized within the food. So it comes in as an alkaline food.
Right.
So it may appear acid to a superficial dietitian.
Right,
that's the first person that brought it up to me. It was a superficial dietitian. Because she knew nothing about dietetics except what they taught her in dietetic school. And she brought that up, and I thought about it just for a second. And the answer is easy.
Right. So this is a diet that promotes alkaline.
Yeah, diet, and people hear from various sources, you want to eat alkaline foods. It's true. Right. It's been talked about since I've been in this business for at least 40 years. People have talked about alkaline foods, but you talk about alkaline foods, you talk about high fiber foods, you talk about no cholesterol foods. Right. Well, those are plants.
Right. Plants don't make cholesterol, like you said.
So you're just describing the same foods by different parts of them, qualities of them. And yeah, it's high alkaline, but that's not why it's healthy. The reason it's healthy is the plant foods are alkaline. Right. And the alkalinity is advantageous because you don't have all that acid you have to neutralize that you get when you eat animal foods. But it's basically you're choosing the whole food. The whole potato is slightly alkaline. Right. And yeah, it's also, here's another. Eat high vitamin C foods. Right. Only plants have vitamin C. You could just go down the line of what people tell you to eat, and you take one step back, and
it's a plant.
It's a plant, and it really should be a starch-based diet, based on corn and rice and potatoes and so on.
So, what are what people ask also when you are eating a diet that is more acidic? Is it accurate to say that you're more propense to get sick, to get illnesses if you're...
I don't know that answer.
That is a very common statement
if you're eating a
out
diet,
there by some...
So the question was, if you're eating a diet that's acidic,
right?
Does that eating...
And your pH shows that...
I don't know that the pH determines how effective the antibodies work. It may.
Okay.
It probably does. I think you could probably find some specific things about the alkalinity or the acidity of the body and how it affects disease-fighting mechanisms. Right. You might find some direct connection, and that's okay. But the real reason is you've got to take a step back.
Right.
When you choose these alkaline foods, you choose foods that are high fiber, no cholesterol, high vitamin C, high in thousands of phytonutrients that are good for your body.
Right.
So and of course that's what I try and get people to do, is to try to stop micronizing everything. Stop trying to find the detail. The answer is really in the big picture.
It's in the big picture. Yeah. That is.
It's hard to get.
I don't know. Yeah, it's something in the human mind, or maybe it's something of our age because we have so much information. But everybody starts to look at the micro, information, and it deters us from the big picture.
Or until we can figure out exactly how meat turns into cholesterol and get the finest detailed micro mechanism down, we're not going to say meat causes heart disease.
Right.
I want all the details. And that's, of course, from a consumer's viewpoint. Right. You can't take my steak away. You didn't find out exactly how it converts X, Y, to Z. And until you do, there is doubt. And, of course, the scientist always wants to have a new project.
Oh, yeah.
And they claim their finding to be the determining finding, the most important finding. And that's unfortunately leads to no significant change in people's health or behavior.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned in the lecture was how the body reacts to counteract the acidity, and it has to do something with our bones.
Yeah, bones.
So can you just say a little bit
about
that?
When you dump this acid, say cheese,
right?
And you have a whole block of cheese, and it's got molecules that are acidic and some that are alkaline and so on. You start matching these off. Because an acid has to be matched with an alkaline. They'll sometimes actually end up together in molecular reactions. And when you end up counting all the alkalines and all the acids, cheese has the most excess acid away from neutrality, which is 7.
Right.
So it'd be a low pH. And if you look at cheese, it's so soft and warm and comfortable. It just looks like something that would be really alkaline.
Yes.
It's a load of acid and leukemia viruses and all kinds of other microbes. And it's dirty. It's among the dirtiest of all foods out there. And but it looks nice.
Right.
Comfortable.
And
I don't think, picture the advertisements as comforting. Sitting around a family table, or out in the pasture with Elsie,
with a nice music in the background,
cheese and bread sandwiches.
But tell us a little how do we lose bone?
Well, the bone has alkaline material.
Right.
I'd have to learn more to give you more details.
Right.
And it's there. I probably learned it back in my senior medical school biochemistry class. But the bone has many minerals in it, including calcium and phosphorus and so on. And what that acid does is it causes some of these minerals to dissolve.
Right.
And maybe these minerals, these complexes of compounds, have more alkaline material than acid material, so it can easily provide the alkaline neutralization that's necessary. But the structural material of the bone, which is made up of millions of molecules, it actually dissolves. And it lets loose alkaline parts. Right. And they connect to the acid, the hydrogen ion. So it's a physical change in the bones. That's how they get, quote, weak, and that's how they're allowed to lose their minerals, is by this weakening caused by the acid.
Right.
And not just their minerals, too. You lose minerals when you get older. That's normal. When you stop having babies, you lose minerals, and your bone mineral density test, your test for osteoporosis.
Everybody knows, or a lot of women that I know, they all have now osteoporosis.
They have a little milder form, but they don't really distinguish the two.
But what is the standard, like you said in your lecture, that they're compared to?
70% of women, when analyzed, who are over the age of 70, have osteopenia or osteoporosis. It's a very good test, and it is true.
Right.
But you have to ask, what are they measuring, and what are they using as a standard?
Right.
They're not measuring bone strength. How much a bone would take, say, a bend.
To break. Yes.
They're measuring the amount of mineral in that bone. They do that by shooting photons through the bone. See how many come out on the other side. So bone with more minerals will give you a scan of less photons coming through.
Right.
So you have low bone mineral density. But people don't understand the words bone, no bone, mineral. They're looking for the minerals, the density of the minerals. Well, minerals go away normally as you age. When you go into your reproductive years, you pack away 2 or 3 pounds of minerals for the baby. And the breastfeeding that follows. But when you go out of your reproductive years, when you enter menopause, you don't have to carry that 2 pounds or 3 pounds of mineral on anymore. It's inefficient. So the body naturally dumps that mineral that was being stored, the depot in the bones, of mineral storage. Doesn't need it anymore, it just dumps out of the body. And so when you measure the bones, you find they have less mineral than they once did, or since you can't really go once did, because once is past, what you do is you take a current comparison. And what they use as a current comparison is a young, healthy, white woman. And I've seen it as a 28-year-old woman, doesn't matter. What are young, healthy women of any color supposed to be doing at that time of their life?
Biologically.
Yeah, biologically.
Right.
They're supposed to be having babies and nursing them. So they need that extra 2 or 3 pounds of mineral. Once you go through menopause, you don't need it. It goes away. So the mineral's gone, but the strength of the bones is still there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's just that they're not measuring the strength of the bones. They're measuring the amount of mineral in the bones,
Right.
which has changed because of the stage of life a person is in.
Is this something that men have to worry about?
Oh, yeah. Men do too. It's just, why is it women more than men as far as menopause?
Yeah, why do we see this more in the...
Well, for men, it's a slow, gradual change in sex hormones.
Okay.
Say you said the end of reproductive life for a man and a woman, you just picked this, was 50 years. And with women, that end of reproductive life signaled by the end of production of eggs. Mm-hmm. Boom!
Right. Dramatic
reduction in estrogens, which cause bone to rebuild. So you get this precipitous reduction over a matter of days of hormone. Right. And so you see this big reduction. Whereas for men, the testosterone is a bone builder, plus they have estrogen from various sources, but they're not losing the egg source of estrogen.
Right.
And so for men, the sex hormones or any hormones that build bone will go down very slowly, say over a decade or two. And there'll be just a tiny change because men didn't have ovaries. And they didn't produce the large amounts, so women did. Now, that's why the difference is so dramatic in a woman.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. That's very good.
Yeah, the truth makes sense. or they just tell a good story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, very good. I think that this weekend is going really well.
Good.
What do you
we have so many nice people here.
It is always. I think that this is that part of coming here is one. Of course, getting all this information compact in 3 days, but meeting the other people. It's a huge difference from I've heard already several attendees. They come, of course, because of the information. The food is amazing, but just to be connected with a group.
Yeah, just to be able to stand next to another person and have a sensible conversation.
A sensible conversation,
exactly. Rather than people telling you things that they saw in an advertisement.
Right. Yeah, and you either have to choose whether you're gonna fight with them or just Well,
they don't even have the background to even have a discussion. No. Whereas people here you may not find fully informed,
right.
But they're on the path. They've at least had their eyes open, and they're seeking knowledge and testing it. And not everybody here came willingly.
No.
Few were kicking and screaming. But
well, last night Jeff Novick said something about the new standard of research. It is, I just know it.
So that's actually Bill Maher's.
Okay, well, but
it's Bill Maher or it's Colbert.
Right.
One of the two.
I just know.
Something to the effect that there's no evidence of this fact. I just know it's true.
I still somehow.
That's one of those two do it.
Well, very good. Since we always have new viewers to close this webinar, would you just say in a few words what the McDougall program is about?
It's very simple. I think that's what people like. It's the simplicity.
It's the simplicity.
The truth is simple and easy to understand. The human being is designed as a starch eater. In other words, a human being is designed to get the bulk of their calories from starch. And you can prove it to yourself right now. Just change your thought for a second and ask what the diets of people of the past have been. And you will say immediately, well, the Mayans and the Aztecs were the people of the corn. And in South America, they lived with potatoes. And in the East, Far East, it was lots of rice. Sure, it's starch. Starch is the primary part of your diet. When people ask me to guess, I say, look at your plate. Does 90% of it look like starch? Oh, okay, that's it. And the rest of the diet should be fruits and vegetables. If you choose to add other foods, the body's tough, but your chances of success go down greatly when you add other foods, because of the temptation. Most of us can't have a little bit of pepperoni pizza.
Right.
But anyway, it's a diet based on starch with fruits and vegetables. Yes, you can walk. Yes, you need to get sunshine, not too much. Yes, you can go out and do body damaging sports if you want. I don't care, but it doesn't have to do with good health. It's the food, which is starches, vegetables, and fruits. No free oils like olive oil, corn oil, no oil, and no animal foods at all. No chickens or eggs or fish, just none of that.
But the vegetables that will keep us satisfied are not really lettuce and spinach.
That's where a lot of people are getting confused
right.
now. They're getting confused and thinking that they call it a whole food plant-based diet or a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet is a healthy diet because many of these people, because they've just learned the great value of vegetables. And of course, what's more vegetable than broccoli?
Right.
Or cauliflower sprouts. I mean, that's probably all the vegetables you ever knew. The other things like rice and potatoes, I don't know what those were. Mm-hmm. We probably didn't even have a name for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, they focused on eating broccoli, cauliflower, and sprouts, and pretty soon they come to the conclusion you can't live on this. There's no satisfaction.
Plus, they're expensive. I mean, potatoes and sweet potatoes and rice and beans, you
feed yourself for a month for $40.
Right.
Yeah. And so you need to understand.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. It's just starches, vegetables, and fruits. Go for a walk and get a little sunshine, appropriate to your skin color.
Right. And no oil, no free.
No oils and no animals.
Right. Now, you allow people to put a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar, which other people or doctors are against.
Yes, we do allow salt and sugar on the surface of the food.
On the surface of the food?
Yes. It's
not cooked with it?
No, because then you get buried. The seasoning gets all buried.
And then you add more.
And you add more at the top. You want it where it is tasted, which is the tip of the tongue. Right. So you sit down with a bowl of soup. And we'll do this here in a few minutes of the program. And some people will sit down and taste it and go, oh, that's really bland.
Right.
And if I was sitting next to them, I'd say, here's the salt chicken, put some salt on it. Wow, that's the best soup I ever had.
Yeah.
You know, I say we just love salt and sugar. There are reasons for it. We can't live without salt.
Right.
And there's lots of research that says that eating some salt is really good for you. And maybe eating a little more salt is also really good for you. Right. But this is an argument that I get involved with some of my friends.
Yes.
But I go with I want you to eat.
Well, you want people to eat your patients.
I want you to eat the food.
Right.
I want you to eat the oatmeal, so put a little sugar on it.
Right.
And I want you to eat the mashed potatoes, so put a little salt on the top. And pretty soon they'll find themselves putting less and less on.
Right. Yeah, you get accustomed. That's happened. That's what happened to me. I just decreased to the point where it's like, well, I don't really need it anymore. But
we have salt shakers on the table, and they're going to be serving.
Yeah.
We're going to be serving salt.
Well, in a little while, we're in about an hour.
What I'll have to do is I'll have to come in before we do a program and change the tops. Shakers with smaller holes.
That's right.
I'll fix them that way.
Yeah, well, no, I know that for many people that makes a big difference in actually eating the food. And,
you want to pick the foods you like. I mean, if you don't like potatoes, don't pick potatoes.
Don't eat potato, right.
You like sweet potatoes, live on sweet potatoes.
Right.
If you just want to live on one food alone, you live on potatoes or sweet potatoes alone.
Mm-hmm.
You want to pick 2 or 3 foods, pick a grain or a legume as starch, and then add some fruits and vegetables.
Right.
So it's really very simple.
It's very simple.
And all of your ancestors ate this way, unless you were of Inuit Eskimo derivation, and I think that's been going on for a while.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. McDougall, for spending a few minutes here with me and for the audience, and we will see you all next week on Monday.
Yeah, some of the people that are attending here, we might see later on too.
Oh, I know. Yes, we have. You have
and
attended.
next time we have an intensive weekend, which will be about every 6 months. It's on the website. sign up early because we may have filled all the rooms this time. That's why we only have about 130 people.
Yeah.
It's
They ran out of rooms.
It's back.
It's
This hotel
back.
is back. Yes.
So sign up early.
Yes, so go to
The next one will be-
McDougall.com, and I think it's in June or
September price. Okay.
Okay, all right, very
We do a
good.
3-day week. The least expensive personal contact that you will get from us. And we do it purposely that way because we'd like to get to know as many people as possible.
Right.